guys, and welcome back to another video. So for today's sketchbook doodle session, it is going to be a bit of a shorter session for today. As you can see, I already have some pencil sketches drawn out, but I haven't had time to either spruce them up or make it look a little bit more complete rather than some faint sketches in my sketchbook. So the sketches were done with a mechanical pencil, just normal HB lead in 0.5. So I wanted to add a little bit of color instead of doing like a full pencil render of everything. And today we are going to be drawing Klee. So Klee is from Genshin Impact, and recently they have announced officially her new outfit, which I think looks super cute. Her hair is a lot more fluffier, and I don't know, the color palette is just very soft and cute for Klee, and also very fun and summery in a way, but also giving a little bit more of like witchy vibes, which I think is super cute. But like I said, I didn't want to leave these sketches very plain. So I'm going to start off with adding some watercolor washes to here, kind of like different areas, just to give me a good kind of base for me to work with while we kind of decide what I'm going to be doing for the rest of the coloring process for today's sketches. So technically, I probably could have done entirety of just watercolor sketches for the entire thing and maybe go over with the mechanical pencil again or ballpoint pen, but I've already done that for a previous video, and even though I do like the result, I kind of wasn't really feeling that kind of medium or process today. So I kind of wanted to break out the pencil crayons for a little bit more detailing and adding a little bit more vibrancy to my washes and everything. And you guys will see how that kind of looks. And I kind of like the look of it because it feels much more kid feeling, if that makes sense. Like kind of more free, it's kind of more scribbly, and it just feels a lot more loose compared to how I usually work, because I do favor a lot of control or making things look very clean and kind of finished for the most part. But doing kind of the watercolor as a rough base for the color definitely helps bring that vibrancy to the entire spread. But also, because my sketch is already very vague in a way, it's not gonna allow me to be too meticulous or too detail orientated when I'm actually doing the painting or the actual coloring process for the pencil crayons. So hopefully this spread won't be too much of a mess. And kind of the reason being that this is a much shorter session is that I think in total, at least like for the footage, I think it's about an hour of footage, but I didn't feel like the entirety of me waiting for paint to dry or me picking certain colors or areas to paint, I didn't really want to have all that dead air in the middle of it. So I tried my best to make sure that I chose some chunks that made sense. So that's why I have such a little footage for today's session, but hopefully it won't be too bad because, like I said, it was like a much more quick session compared to some other previous sketchbook spreads, if that makes sense. But yeah, I just think it's kind of fun doing it like this. I also really like the look of the watercolor with the pencil like this, and like I said, ballpoint pen would have worked really well if I wanted to spend time to actually flesh everything out, but I thought it'd be fun to just pull out the Artex pencil crayons just to spruce everything up. Now, I didn't know how exactly this was gonna go, so I'm playing it kind of safe and picking colors that are very close to the watercolor that I already chose, and I'm trying just to fill in some of the spaces so that we have a little bit less white space on the page, or just even intensifying some of that color so that it kind of pops a little bit more. But for the most part, stuff like this, so either for like watercolor washes, marker drawings, pencil crayons, or colored pencils, whichever you like to say, I usually like having some kind of stronger line work placed afterwards, or something that allows your sketches to pop a little bit more. So I'm going to try my best to make sure that the lines and stuff kind of help bring out the sketches a little bit more. But with that being said, I do cover up a lot of my own pencil lines, so I feel like the sketches themselves don't turn out as cute as they were before when they were kind of untouched by the pencil crayons. But either way, I think it was like a fun process for me to try out using the pencil crayons to kind of embellish and kind of unify everything together, because like I said, I think I do like it with the kind of stronger line work, but I definitely like the look of the washes with the pencil on its own as well. I think it could have been really cool if I did maybe only one of them with the lines, and then with the intense kind of scribbling or hatching back and forth of some of the areas. But for the most part, I pretty much do the same method on the entirety of all the doodles. So there's not too much variation, but still fun to look as kind of like a spread, just because I do think it kind of has more of that poppy colors, especially like the kind of red color that I chose. I tried my best not to use like a flat black. I kind of used a dark brown and a dark purple for parts of her outfit that actually had more black accents, and then later on I'm going to introduce more of a teal turquoise color for the rest, so that we can add a little bit more contrast and kind of like a complementary color to that reddish orange color that I already have for Klee. So for at least like color placement, like I said, I was a little bit more timid with my color choices until I started adding a little bit more purple here and there, and then adding this kind of turquoise teal color to certain places, because like I said in the past, turquoise or teal with either red or orange or pink is like one of my favorite color combinations, and that kind of extends to navy and red, or I don't know, like some golds with some of them darker blues, or even like going into more darker purples and stuff. So those are usually my favorite complementary colors for the most part. It's kind of in that blue and orange kind of area, if that makes sense. But for the most part, some areas, like I don't know, the front part of Klee's dress I kind of left untouched. Partially is because I do like the washes there, so I thought that maybe outlines would just help out to kind of push everything together. But then I accidentally did do a red wash where there was supposed to be white fabric, so it's kind of my mistake. And me using the kind of reddish orange pencil crayon, I tried my best to push the red so that there's enough contrast, so it didn't look like the entirety of her dress was like red rather than white. But for the most part, I think my favorite doodle is actually the one on the very right, even though the one in the center was kind of like the sketch I liked the most when I only had the watercolor washes and the pencil sketches. So like I said, I kind of botched up her face a little bit more when I added in the pencil crayons, but that's okay. I don't really mind too much. Like I said, I think I'm trying my best to become a little bit more loose with how I handle my sketchbook or some of these sessions and stuff, just because if I become too even like attached to some of these spreads or drawings, I feel like I spend too much time on them, or I end up being too scared to work on them because I don't want to mess it up, or I don't want to bring it into a state where there's like no return. So it's kind of nice and freeing doing it this way, where I'm kind of scribbling to fill in certain areas. I'm trying my best to keep the face more or less kind of clean, just because it's easier to read, but for the most part everywhere else I kind of just scribble, and I don't really care which direction I'm doing. I don't really care about like giving too much definition to certain areas. Just try my best to fill in color and just having fun with the entirety of the spread. So I just realized my mic wasn't recording what I said, so I'm not going to remember what exactly I've talked about, and hopefully I don't do too much of an overlap. But I kind of want to do another spread of Klee in the future, or to do another more finished illustration of her, because I haven't really done so technically. So I've done like a bunch of different sketches of Klee in like a previous sketchbook, plus a sketch page-ish done digitally of Klee, but hopefully I will get around to doing another drawing of her. But if I end up doing another sketching session, I would like to incorporate more of that kind of minty, or not minty, turquoisey kind of teal color, because I really do think it fits really nicely with the fiery reddish orange color that Klee has. But also, I want to draw Kaya soon in his new outfit, because I really do like Kaya as a character, and his new outfit I think is super pretty, and I want to take a closer look at all the details and stuff. And I think it would be fun to do, I don't know, more of like a regal-esque portraiture thing of Kaya. We'll see what I end up doing, but I think that could be fun to do and focus more on like the golds and stuff and all the navy or whatever color he has in his entirety of his color palette. Also, the braid in his hair I really like, so but But for the most part, had a lot of fun doing this spread. Like I said, I wanted to treat it a little bit more loose. I spent probably just over an hour fixing up these sketches and stuff from the kind of like pencil state that it used to be in, and then adding the washes, adding the colors with the colored pencils, pencil crowns, whatever you want to call them. I'm trying to think what else I talked about before my mic cut out. I think that's probably about it. I would like to do a marker spread though of her, so that we can kind of do my best to kind of look at the outfit a little bit more closely and get it a little bit more accurate. Because if you compare it to official art or just any artwork or models of her, and you look at my drawings, you can see that it's not very accurate, because I basically abandoned the reference at some point after I did the watercolor washes. So I think I was too confused on what was what, because my pencil sketches are a little bit chicken scratchy, and then my washes weren't exactly placed correctly everywhere. So yeah, that's gonna be something I would like to do in the future as well. I'm not too sure if I'm going to do it for a video, but I would like to just do a few more spreads here and there. But here is the kind of little close-ups of the, I don't know, looser coloring for this kind of sketchbook spread. So yeah, here is Klee, just little free little doodles on a page, and hopefully we'll draw her a little bit more in the future. And I think that's probably it for today's session. I am going to stick a piece of paper in between this page or the spread, so that when I work on future pages on the right side and go through, and I might accidentally press too hard and stuff, so I might imprint the pencil crayon from one side to the other. So just to keep things a little bit clean for now, I'm going to keep a spare piece of paper there until we get further along in the sketchbook. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's shorter session, and I'll talk to you guys next time in the next video. Bye!